In recent news, Jay-Z, the renowned rapper and businessman, has become entangled in a legal controversy involving accusations of sexual assault. The case revolves around a woman, who has been identified only as Jane Doe, who filed a lawsuit claiming that Jay-Z, alongside Sean Diddy Combs, assaulted her when she was just 13 years old. Although the case was dismissed last month, Jay-Z is not letting this matter slide easily. The rapper has filed new lawsuits, not only against Jane Doe but also against her lawyer, Tony Busby, claiming the accusations against him were false, defamatory, and part of an extortion scheme that cost him a staggering $20 million in damages. Jay-Z's legal team has been vocal in their stance, accusing Busby and Jane Doe of malicious prosecution, abuse of process, defamation, and civil conspiracy. According to Jay-Z's lawsuit, the defendants were motivated purely by greed and an utter disregard for the truth. These serious accusations come on the heels of a tumultuous legal battle that has seen a string of legal maneuvers, and Jay-Z is now vowing to hold those responsible accountable for the financial and emotional toll this case has taken on him. The lawsuit, filed in Alabama, alleges that Busby's actions, particularly the filing of the lawsuit in New York without the proper legal credentials, further exacerbated the situation, leading to financial harm and public damage to Jay-Z's reputation. Jay-Z's legal team, led by attorney Alex Spiro, has been adamant in their accusations, claiming that Busby admitted he never personally met with Jane Doe before filing the lawsuit. This, they argue, represents a serious ethical lapse and further undermines the credibility of the case. The case took a significant turn when Jay-Z's legal team requested that the court sanction Busby for his actions, arguing that he failed to do his due diligence in representing his client. In a counter-response, Busby dismissed these claims as frivolous, stating that everything Jay-Z's lawyers had filed thus far lacked merit. Busby also pointed to the fact that Jay-Z was acting out of desperation, making baseless accusations to deflect from the core of the matter. However, the stakes were raised when Jay-Z's legal filings included the claim that Busby and his team were involved in a coordinated defamation effort. Jay-Z's legal team accused the lawyer of issuing threats and extortionate demands, with the intention of pressuring Jay-Z into settling the case or making public concessions. As part of this strategy, Jay-Z also claimed that Busby had falsely alleged that Jay-Z had made threats against Jane Doe's life, a claim that had no factual basis. One of the most concerning aspects of this legal drama involves Jay-Z's approach to Jane Doe herself. As part of his legal strategy, Jay-Z has filed a defamation lawsuit against Jane Doe in Alabama, accusing her of making false claims that damaged his reputation. The notion that Jay-Z would go after an alleged victim directly, particularly after the case was dismissed, raises serious ethical questions. While it is common for defamation lawsuits to be filed against lawyers or public figures who make false statements, suing the victim of an alleged crime is an entirely different matter, one that has generated significant public controversy. In her defense, Jane Doe has come forward to express her continued belief in the veracity of her accusations, despite the case being dismissed. She insists that the allegations of sexual assault against Jay-Z and Diddy are true, and she has shown no signs of recanting her story. She has even gone as far as to claim that she is terrified for her life, asserting that 2 investigators, apparently working on behalf of Jay-Z, showed up at her home and tried to coerce her into admitting that her claims were false. This has only heightened her fear, as she claims that Jay-Z's team somehow managed to track her down, despite the fact that she had been filing the lawsuit anonymously. Jane Doe's assertion that Jay-Z and his team located her and subjected her to intimidation tactics raises serious concerns. It's particularly troubling when considering that one of Jay-Z's key arguments throughout the case was that he didn't know the identity of his accuser. The discovery of her identity and the subsequent attempts to pressure her into changing her story suggest a level of access and control over the situation that was not disclosed previously. This, combined with the legal filings accusing her of making false accusations, further complicates Jay-Z's position, especially when viewed through the lens of public perception. The optics of this entire situation are problematic for Jay-Z. While it's understandable that he would want to defend himself against false accusations, the idea of sending investigators to the home of an anonymous accuser seems excessive, even for a high-profile case. The fact that these investigators allegedly tried to convince Jane Doe to recant her story and publicly state that the allegations were false raises questions about Jay-Z's methods. Some critics have argued that his actions cross the line from legal defense to intimidation, which could tarnish his reputation even further. Moreover, Jane Doe has stated that she has no intention of backing down, despite the case being dismissed and the public scrutiny she has faced. She has maintained that she was the victim of sexual assault and that her claims were truthful, asserting that her fear of Jay-Z's team is not just emotional but rooted in the very real threat she feels. This ongoing battle between Jay-Z and Jane Doe is not only a legal issue but a moral one, with both sides digging in their heels. It is also important to note that there are two separate lawsuits underway. While Jay-Z is suing Jane Doe for defamation in Alabama, a second lawsuit is currently pending in California, targeting Tony Busby for his alleged role in what Jay-Z's legal team has described as an extortion plot. The two lawsuits, one in Alabama and the other in California, represent the complexity of the case, with each jurisdiction focusing on different aspects of the dispute. Jay-Z's lawsuit against Busby includes accusations of defamation, with Jay-Z's team alleging that Busby and his associates made false and damaging claims about Jay-Z's involvement in the case. These allegations include claims that Jay-Z's team had engaged in harassment, making public statements designed to discredit Jane Doe and deflect attention from the actual legal issues at hand. In the context of the California lawsuit, Jay-Z's legal team claims that Busby's statements were not only false but part of a larger scheme to extort money from Jay-Z. As for Jane Doe, the fact that she has been thrust into the public eye in such a dramatic way has undoubtedly had a lasting impact on her life. While her initial lawsuit may have been dismissed, the damage to her personal life and reputation cannot be ignored. The legal battle with Jay-Z has made her a subject of public debate, with some people questioning her motives and others offering support for her to stand by her story. Regardless of the outcome, it is clear that Jane Doe has already experienced significant trauma, and the ongoing legal battles with Jay-Z have only added to that. The core issue here is not just the question of whether Jay-Z is guilty of the allegations but the manner in which he and his legal team are handling the situation. The decision to go after Jane Doe herself, especially after the case was dismissed, raises serious ethical concerns. Jay-Z's position as a powerful and influential figure in the entertainment industry adds an additional layer of complexity to the situation. It is crucial to consider the power dynamics at play, particularly when one side is accusing the other of engaging in intimidation and coercion. In the midst of all this, Jay-Z's legal team continues to argue that the accusations against him are baseless and part of a broader conspiracy to extort money and damage his reputation. But the fact remains that Jane Doe is standing by her story, insisting that the assault took place and that Jay-Z's legal tactics are only adding to her distress. The question of whether Jay-Z's response is an overreach or a legitimate attempt to clear his name is one that will likely continue to be debated in legal circles and the public eye. At the end of the day, this case highlights the complex and often troubling nature of high-profile legal battles. Whether Jay-Z is innocent or guilty remains to be seen, but the actions taken by his legal team raise important questions about power, intimidation, and the treatment of those who come forward with accusations of serious wrongdoing. As the case moves forward, it will likely continue to draw attention and spark debate, especially as both sides continue to make bold claims and counterclaims. The outcome of these lawsuits will undoubtedly have lasting implications, not only for Jay-Z's reputation but for how such cases are handled in the future. Legal battles involving celebrities and powerful figures are always fraught with controversy, but when they involve such serious allegations, the stakes are even higher. In the coming months, we can expect further developments in this case, and it will be interesting to see how the legal system and public opinion respond.